We're about to get into my final 7-round mock draft for the Dallas Cowboys, which is made possible by our friends over at Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com, and when you use promo code Cowboys, you'll get 20% off. That is a little bit different than what we've been doing in the past, so keep that in mind. It's manscaped.com, and the promo code is Cowboys. So go check that out today. Now, for my final mock draft, many of you want to know if it's Patrick Surtain or Jaycee Horn. What I do think is going to happen is that the Dallas Cowboys are going to get a very good football player. It's going to be quarterbacks in those first 3 picks. I think Ja'Marr Chase goes number 5, and I bet at least one more receiver goes either 6 to Miami, 8 to Carolina, 7 to Detroit. I think there's going to be one of the quote-unquote top 5 that we've mentioned many a time on this show on the board for the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe it's Penei Sewell. Probably not. I think Kyle Pitts goes 4. Sorry, folks. Maybe Rashawn Slater's there. I would bet a good amount of money that at least one of the corners, either Patrick Surtain or Jaycee Horn, is on the board. I don't know if both will be there. That is a distinct possibility. We'll see what happens on draft night. And I think the Cowboys internally are split as to which one it'll be, which one they would prefer, Surtain or Horn. I think the scouts want Surtain. I think the coaches kind of want Jaycee Horn a little bit more. In the end, and this is still very much a guess, I'm going to go with Jaycee Horn as the pick here in round 1 at number 10 overall. Again, I think it's down to Horn or Surtain. And I think one of those guys is going to be there on the board for Dallas. I guess there is a disastrous nightmare scenario in which it's just a bunch of receivers and maybe a quarterback. If so, cool. Then they can just take that. They can just trade down at that point. So either corner in the end is a good pick. I think it's going to be very difficult for the Cowboys to mess this up at pick number 10. I think there's going to be a very, very good player ranked quite highly on their board. Jaycee Horn, meanwhile, with heavy connections to both Mike McCarthy, because Jaycee Horn's dad, Joe Horn, very, very good friends with Mike still. Dan Quinn knows Will Muschamp very well, and I think he fits what Dan Quinn wants to do on the defensive side of the ball. His production this year was fantastic. In terms of the attitude, the ability to be a dog, the desire, the trash talking, all of it. He checks off those boxes. And this is the biggest reason why I'm on board, even though I have Surtain higher on my board. The reason why I'm okay with Horn, the Cowboys need more attitude on this defense. They were the soft boys last year. You put Jaycee Horn on this team, he's going to help change a culture on defense that probably needs a little bit more attitude on that side of the ball. So make your predictions for me. And we'll put this on the community as well. And it'll also be the pinned comment in case you get with the ad break here. Who do you think the Cowboys will end up drafting in round 1? Not who you want, but who do you think will end up being the pick for Dallas in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft? Make your predictions down there in the pinned comment. All right, so round 2 now. Some notable players I wanted to mention who went off the board. 3 guys of note here specifically. Carlos Basham, who I think does make sense for the Cowboys. I think they like him. Glad he was gone in the sim that I ran because, well, that was the fan-led mock draft pick too. Also, sorry folks, Trevon Merrick and Zaven Collins off the board. Other players I considered. Richie Grant was sitting there, but let's be honest. Even if he's there, I bet the Cowboys would break my heart and would not take him. I think they could go Baron Browning. Dylan Radins, maybe. I don't think tackle is in play in round 2 necessarily. Levi Onwuzurike could be a fit for them. I went with a different name here, though. Instead of going with a linebacker, which I do think is very much in play for this Dallas Cowboys team, instead, I went with an edge rusher, Payton Turner, out of Houston. He's one of my favorite guys in this year's draft. I love what he brings off the edge with some inside-outside flexibility. He's my number 5 edge, actually, in this year's class. And I think pass rusher, which we haven't talked a lot about on this show, and it's partially my fault, I think that could be a real target in the second round. Now, Joseph Asai was gone. I don't want Gregory Rousseau, Kwity Paye, Ojulari, Phillips. Those guys are all going to be gone. But I think Dallas wants another edge if the right guy presents himself. DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, that's 2 of your top 3. Terrell Basham, Dorrance Armstrong, Bradley, and I, those guys are number 4 edges. You could survive for a year if you had to with one of them being your number 3, But Turner offers that inside-outside flex where on first downs, he's your base end. And then you can use Tank Lawrence and Turner and Gregory and maybe Tristan Hill in there too as your 4 pass rushers. In just 5 games this year, Payton Turner dominated. He was fantastic this season for Houston. Now, I think it might be a touch early for him, but most of the good edges were already off the board. And I think they would take Turner over Ronnie Perkins instead. So, different type of pick, but I think an edge rusher does make a lot of sense. Plus, as you'll see, I was trying to find a way to fill all areas of the defense within my first 5 picks, which I think I accomplished. Before we get to the round 3 pick, though, as mentioned, today's show is made possible by Manscaped. You will get 20% off and free shipping on all their fantastic men's grooming products when you go to manscaped.com and use the promo code Cowboys. We've changed that around this time. It's manscaped.com. The promo code is Cowboys. You see at the bottom of your screen. It'll also be in the comment section and near the top of the description. Manscaped.com, and then you have to use that promo code Cowboys if you want to get 20% off and free shipping on the Lawnmower 3.0, the Perfect Package, and tons of other goodies that are all available on Manscaped. Go check them out today. It's the best men's grooming product out there. One more time, since it is different here, folks. Manscaped.com. Using promo code Cowboys gets you 20% off and free shipping. All right, some recent picks now in round 3 before number 75 overall. Tommy Togiai, he's gone. Dylan Moses is gone. Elijah Molden, I would have loved that one. He could be in play in round 2 as a potential safety option. So some key players on the board. I thought about Dylan Radins a lot as a future potential left tackle for you. Thought about a linebacker here. Cameron McGrone, Chazz Surratt were both on the board. Instead, and I am not exactly entirely sure that he's going to fall all the way down. So it might be more of a round 2 pick, but he fell, so I took advantage of it. Jevon Holland here in round 3 at pick number 75. Dan Quinn at the Oregon Pro Day. I think that's who he was checking out the most there. Now, Holland mostly played nickel the last time we saw him back in the 2019 season. But I think he could be a free safety. He tested well enough there. He's added some weight. He did test well at his Pro Day, which was needed because, you opt out for a year, you better end up testing quite well there. He does offer plenty of, everyone take a drink, ball skills as well. 4 pass breakups plus 4 interceptions. Offers that nickel safety hybrid flex. I have a round 2/round 3 grade on him. So even if he were the pick at number 44, I've got him at number 59 overall. I don't care. It's a safety. That's worth it for the Cowboys. He does kind of fit that DeMonte Casey style free safety that I think the Cowboys are at least searching for with Dan Quinn in the regime. And I know what you're saying, Tom, another safety mock to the Cowboys. Come on, you're like 0 for 5 with this hope. Well, I am trying to speak it into existence, damn it. So send some energy for me and spam me in the comment section if you want the Cowboys to go draft a safety early. I have begged them for years. Dan Quinn's done it before, though. Maybe this is the year the Cowboys finally end up doing it. All right, the last of the 3rd-round picks, the day 2 picks. Recent guys off the board. There goes Jamar Johnson, so bit of a tough break there if you wanted him, even though you already got Holland. Paulson Adebo, Cam McGrone are all gone, as does Brady Christensen. He would have been in play a lot for me at number 92, or at number 99 overall, but he goes 92 to the Packers. All right, some players on the board then. Deontay Brown, Jackson Carman, 2 guards if you want them, but whatever. 2 defensive tackles, Tyler Shelvin, Bobby Brown as well. But there was a surprise linebacker who fell all the way down to pick number 99 for me. I was just going to take Cam McGrone here, but he went before Chazz Surratt, which is probably a bit unlikely. But hey, who thought Bradley and I and Trevon Diggs would have fallen as far as they did last year? I think Cowboys are once again looking at an early linebacker pick. I would bet they take one on day 2. It could even be in round 2. Maybe they want to go with a Nick Bolton or, a Baron Browning or a Pete Warner of Ohio State fairly early. Now, look, Surratt has flaws in his game, make no mistake about it, but I think the majority of them are going to be correctable as he actually plays more linebacker. He's a good athlete who can blitz a little bit, tends to identify things fairly well because he was a former quarterback. He's not great in coverage yet, and that's a bit scary. But you know what? You're typically not going to find a great coverage linebacker here all the way down at barely inside the top 100. So if Surratt is there in round 3, when I have a round 3 grade on him, I like that quite a bit there. He's still not a great block shedder. I think there's enough upside there, enough promise, enough traits overall that he's definitely worth taking in round 3. Now, whatever the Cowboys end up doing, we'll let you guys know on our Chat Sports YouTube channel. Link right there, bottom of your screen, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We'll be live for every single pick. All 3 days, all 7 rounds. Every pick will be broken down, including, the Eagles and the Washington football team and Giants, if you want to be aware of what the enemy is doing. So go subscribe today if you haven't already. I'll put that link, youtube.com/chatsportstv, in both the comment section and in the description. All right, so round 4 now. Pick number 115. Some notable guys on the board I wanted to mention here. I'm not that high on Tyler Shelvin. Sorry, not sorry. I got Dontari Poe vibes, and not the good Dontari Poe either. Osa Odigizua, if I hadn't taken Payton Turner, maybe he's kind of an inside-outside flex player. Instead, I'll go with one of my favorite prospects this year, Bobby Brown III out of Texas A&M. Now, I'm probably higher on him than most people. I've got him in my top 100. So to get him at number 115, I like that. Highly touted recruit, coming off his best year ever. I want a nose tackle. I want a good one who can also pressure the quarterback a little bit. That's what Bobby Brown can do. One of the youngest guys in this year's class. The flashes have been there. And that is highly, highly intriguing to me as it relates to options on the defensive line. So I like the idea of getting Bobby Brown. All right, he's actually my number 96th overall player, my number 6 defensive lineman as well. There is upside here. I like him a lot, so keep that in mind for the Cowboys on day 3. All right, all defense here, but some notable offensive players on the board at pick number 138. There's Kenneth Gainwell, Jalen Darden, Tommy Doyle. I like Doyle a lot at the offensive tackle. I don't think the Cowboys would feel the same way about the guy from my alma mater, so instead of a surprise slider, Stone Forsythe. First off, awesome name for an offensive tackle. Like, come on, the dude's name is Stone. You love it there. And he's built like one, too. This guy is massive. He's just over 6'8", listed at 6'9" by Florida, but they rounded up as they always tend to do. He played both right tackle and left tackle at Florida. And at his size, he's a pretty good mover, too. Now, not all of these guys end up working out, but you're picking here 4th round, maybe he's your swing tackle. Maybe you get lucky and he ends up being more. There are still some things he has to work on, but as a round 4 pick, I think it's actually pretty good value. Really, the biggest question mark is how I fit him on my roster, because I got Tyron Smith and Lael Collins and Ty Nsekhe and Terrence Steele, Brandon Knight, and maybe I can get one of those guys to play guard for me as a backup guy on the interior, but I know how many of you people want to get a tackle out there, so I threw him in for you in the 7-round mock draft. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if the Cowboys don't use all 10 picks in this year's draft. They have 10. They could use them all if they want, but I think they might get a little aggressive at points and move up, or maybe move one for a future draft pick as well. So make your predictions for me in the comments. How many picks will the Dallas Cowboys end up making this year? Round 5 now, I went with Derrick Barnes. We'll pick up the pace here. I think he could kind of be that Sam edge linebacker hybrid type there. Hasn't done a bunch in terms of coverage, but he went from an edge rusher to a linebacker this past year at Purdue, and he adds more depth at a position that very much needs it. They need more linebacker depth, or even in this mock draft where they take Chazz Surratt, do you really want Luke Gifford, Bernard as your 4th, 5th, 6th guys, potentially, depending on what role exactly Keanu Neal ends up playing? Not really. With picks to play with there, give me a guy that I actually have a round 4 grade on, who I think could be a potential, maybe not full-fledged elite starter, round 4/5 grade on, but could be a good depth and rotation piece for you at the linebacker position. All right, round 6, pick number 192, Cornell Powell out of Clemson. Coming off a big-time breakout year. You have to be aware that, you know what, Michael Gallup might not be long for this organization. Powell offers you a potential replacement down the road. He's not an elite athlete by any means, but he's got good hands. He is a good route runner as well. I might give him some slot reps as well if you do end up moving on from Gallup, making Lamb your outside guy, but he can do inside and outside there. They did bring back Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown. The Cowboys did, excuse me. But they're both on one-year deals with very little guaranteed money. So because of that, I'm not entirely sure they would end up keeping him or keeping either of those guys if in the end they have a fantastic shape with Gallup and Cooper and Lamb. All right, Avery Williams. He is the pick here in round 6, number 226. First off, you know what? You have to have a Boise State player going to the Cowboys, right? He's not really a corner. There's a real chance he plays like running back or receiver in the NFL. This pick would be made by John Fossil, the special teams coordinator. This is one of the best special teamers in this year's NFL draft. Avery Williams can do both kicks and punts. He is able to return both of them over his career at Boise State. 9 special teams touchdowns, some recoveries, a couple blocks, kicks and punt returns, 5 total blocks, and a forced fumble. He would be your new return man. You could take CeeDee Lamb and or Tony Pollard off of returns, and that would then allow you to keep Lamb healthy, and you get an impact special teamer, something I think John Fossil wants to find mid to late on day 3 in this year's draft. Finally, Sam Ehlinger in round 7. I gave you guys the local kid as a backup quarterback because why not? I think he's better than Ben DiNucci, having seen what we've seen from the Nooch. Reminder, folks, there has never been in the history of ever, even if I were to get drafted, such a thing as a bad 7th round pick. It's the 7th round. Who really cares there? I think Ehlinger has a lot of the intangibles coaches are going to love and could potentially be a backup quarterback down the line. And if you have to play him because Dak gets hurt, it's dicey. But as a backup option, sure. I think he's better than Ben DiNucci. He beats out the Nooch, and then maybe down the road replaces Garrett Gilbert as this team's backup quarterback. So to recap then, my final Cowboys mock draft. Jaycee Horn, round 1, pick number 10. Payton Turner, the edge rusher, in round 2. I got the safety, Send the Energy, in round 3. Chazz Surratt, also in round 3. Bobby Brown in the 4th round with 5 straight defensive picks. And then I got some more offensive guys. Stone Forsythe, the tackle out of Florida. Derrick Barnes, the linebacker out of Purdue. Wide receiver Cornell Powell out of Clemson. Avery Williamson, who I'm just going to list as a special teamer. I don't know if he's a running back or a slot receiver, kind of like Jamal Agnew from the Lions, if you guys know him, where he was a DB to receiver, mostly a special team stud there. And also Sam Ehlinger in the 7th round. So grade my mock draft for me here, folks. How do you feel about it? You can be mean if you want. I'm feeling good. A, B, C, D, or F. Get your votes in right now.